Hello and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's good to be here and I hope you're doing well. We're screwing around with some more Terracards today, and let me open with this. This little something that's philosophical, I suppose. It's the idea that all great empires, folks, are built on tortillas. That's right, you heard me right. All great empires are built on tortillas. And how do we create tortillas, folks? Well, it all starts with some amber waves of grain. That's right. We're playing with the focus today. The focus is going to be tortillas. That's right. I've got a few ideas in mind to really try to take tortillas nuclear. But we're going to see. I mean, it is tortillas after all. The reason I want to select tortillas is because they're kind of like a meme to me, right? Like, I always create tortillas when I have zero intention of creating tortillas, right? So you look at like your little inventory, your little sell sheet, right? And there's always like 5 tortillas in there. And you're just like, I didn't mean to make tortillas, right? Why do I have tortillas? Tortillas don't do anything. They're not even good. They don't sell for much. Very underpowered, very underwhelming, very simple to make. But perhaps there is a hidden power here, folks, and we are going to explore that hidden power today. Hopefully. We'll see. No promises, but we're going to see. Now, the cool thing about tortillas, and the reason this is compelling to me, is because both of the structures that you need to make the tortillas have a 2-island range, right? So you should, in theory, be able to set up like a big, several power diamonds to just create billions of tortillas. Not literally billions, but a lot of tortillas. And what does that do? How does it sell? Can it take you to the moon? Can it take you to day 200? These are all questions we're going to explore today in this episode of more Terracards Madness, folks. And obviously, we're already kind of putting the foundations of our build in place here. But with that being said, if you are enjoying the content, or maybe you're just kind of stopping by, checking it out, maybe you just heard of Terracards, maybe you've never heard of Terracards at all. Regardless of your situation, if you are just stopping by the channel, really appreciate if you considered subscribing. Trying to build a community here, and we'd love to have you as part of that community. So just, give it a thought. For me. With that said, we're just going to keep on keeping on here. Now, obviously, you do have to get some energy down. Do have to get some water solved, right? There's some fundamental things that we have to put in place. That's why I'm going with the little sunflower blue wheat action. Not to mention, the blue wheat is boosted by the sunflower, the very production itself of the blue wheat. So it's actually a pretty good play to go with sunflower, because what we want to do is we want to get our wheat plants as beasted up as possible. We want them producing as much wheat as possible every single turn. We'll see if we can take this to the moon. Again, no promises. I mean, it's a pretty underwhelming thing, right? In fact, why don't we just pop in here real quick and take a look at tortillas. Let's see, where are they? Tortilla. 2 flour in a melter makes 1 tortilla. Wheat goes into the mill, turns into flour, goes in the melter, makes a tortilla. It sells for 10. Pretty underwhelming. Not really what I would call a staple crop, if you will. Not really anything that you build an empire on. Except for today. We're going to try it, and we're going to see the kind of success we have with it. I'm going to grab another mill there, because that's going to be useful in building out our other island. We do get some fuel wheat here, and fuel wheat is a key component to this, because our mill and melter both need fuel to work. So fuel wheat will be our source. And really, as we think about crops here, right, I'm going to try to take as much wheat as possible. Maybe mix in a few trees here and there. Obviously, going to have a water supply, so we'll need some watery trees, things like that. But as far as like the core fundamental income that we're making every turn, I want it to be in tortillas. If we look, we're already making 207 tortillas for a nice, rich $2,800. You'll love to see that, folks. and expect this trend to continue on. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, a lot has to go right. Obviously, some of the essence rewards we'll be looking for are key. We want wheat expansion. We definitely want to grab silos for sure. So we'll grab some silos. But we want wheat expansion. I like arboreal bounty in this one. Obviously, love veganism in this one. As probably... I mean, veganism, in my mind, is probably the most important one to get. So hopefully we can secure that early here. We'll certainly see. I'm going to throw my silo right there. Flush, Peanut Fest, and Golden Chance. Absolutely nothing of value here. If I go flush, I fear that we just won't have enough cards to really play. And we have a bunch of junk in our hand already, like cows and fences and stuff. So that's really a really poor selection. So I guess we'll just go with Peanut Fest, I guess. Very uninspiring selection there, folks. And you don't love to see that for our first selection. So we're going to need some propping up here. Watery trees will certainly help us do that. But we're going to need some propping up without question. And we need as much wheat as we can possibly get our grimy little hands on. So let's go and let's secure some more wheat, which we do there. Fuel wheat, regular wheat, blue wheat. It all turns into flour, which all turns into tortillas. Maybe you like the blue corn tortilla variety, if they even make that. Couldn't tell ya. But we're making blue corn tortillas. We're making fuel tortillas, right? We are building a fuel tortilla, blue wheat tortilla empire here, folks. And we're not turning back, and we're not ashamed of it. Think of how many tacos you can make with all the tortillas we're going to be pumping out. Little production check, 175 now. And upward. Olive trees are really, really good. And the reason olive trees are really, really good is if we look at the olive trees property right here. Adjacent island wheat cost is 0 for water. That's excellent. So I want to put one right here. In fact, I want to get probably an olive tree on most islands, if possible. It's just a good play. So let's get another one right here, especially by these silos. That'll double the water cost. That's great. And we can kind of see the overall foundation taking shape. I can re-roll here. Scarecrow's a decent one, but it's not super impactful. So let's re-roll into something potentially more impactful, like a water tank. Water tank is very impactful, especially right here by the silo islands. Oh yeah, that's great. Tremendous. So we're off to a good start here, folks, but we got to keep going. We got to keep grinding. This is all about the continuous grind. I mean, money is obviously going to catch up with us relatively quickly, I might add. So we're going to have to make sure we have a solution. So let's throw an olive tree right there as well. A cocoa tree. I mean, just trees in general. If you get arboreal bounty, I'll kind of explain a little bit more. Ooh, nice. 2 water tanks. We'll take that all day. I'll explain a little bit more how arboreal bounty is going to benefit us once we get there. If we get there, I should say. But what we're essentially doing is creating a bunch of islands that have a bunch of wheat that essentially costs very little. Although I don't know why. Oh, it's just regular wheat. Well, regardless, that's okay. So the olive tree is just for regular wheat, not fuel wheat. Good to know, but that's all right. So here's another hotspot right here for the water tank. And like I said, hopefully we have a future play with arboreal bounty. This is a big one, wheat expansion. You absolutely love to see that, especially for a wheat build, right? That will cause all of our wheat to expand rapidly and out of control. So let's take a quick inventory assessment here. 261 tortillas, making 3K. You know, a modest amount. But we are about to really see the blossom of an empire here, folks. Just have to get some more wheat in play. And we just have to keep on keeping on here. So blue wheat, I will plate there. I think blue wheat's the most useful by the sunflowers, obviously, for obvious reasons. More watery trees. Do we need more watery trees? I mean, if we have a lot of water-neutral wheat, We don't necessarily need them, but we'll take them because they are trees. And if we ever get Arboreal Bounty, it's going to do wonderful things for our little colony here. So we'll take them for sure. Definitely take them. So water tank there, and why don't we throw one right here as well, and then we'll get some more wheat down. So let's roll into some wheat here, game. Be kind, be generous. That's not what I call generous, except for another water tank is generous. So we'll take that. We'll throw some blue wheat right there too. Let me throw a watery tree on that island as well. So now we can start thinking about potentially building out another diamond here. We have a melter. We have the cash for the most part. What am I looking at here? I got a mill and a melter, so I suppose I could begin this. So why don't we go... So we could go silo, 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 right? And make this... Why don't we do it like this? So we'll put our central island right here. I'm going to stop expanding for now, though. Don't want to break the bank quite yet. More just regular wheat, you absolutely bet. And we'll take that all day because we have wheat expansion. So it really works in our favor in this particular case to just keep pumping. Anytime you see wheat, just grab it. Wheat expansion is very nice to have, especially this early on, because it just takes the emphasis off having to physically draw the wheat card itself, right? So you'll love to see that. Alright, so let's put an olive tree right here. We just paid the tax man, so why don't we go ahead and expand downward and get our melter in place right here. Sunflowers. Do we need sunflowers? Yeah, we could use some more sunflowers. Sure thing. So let's grab some more sunflowers. And let's start getting our wheat in place. Got a nice diamond. I mean, these are producing a mighty 104 per turn. So we want those islands as full as possible, of course. And we can actually just start filling out this island here, and we can get a mill as well. Let's fill out this island here as well. Definitely want to get some more olive trees if we can find them. But our water cost really isn't too much of a concern. The olive tree hopefully will serve a dual purpose. We get another we get 10 olive trees though. Let's grab the 10 olive trees. Because hopefully the olive tree can help us serve a dual purpose. And that purpose is of course going to be mitigating the water cost, and if we ever get Arboreal Bounty, we'll get a decent buff from that as well. So really what this does is it makes just regular wheat pretty strong. At least from a resource upkeep cost. So we're just going to keep on keeping on here. Scarecrow, I'm going to use the reroll. Don't love rerolling this close to tax day. Come on, game, give me something here. More melters. Could certainly grab more melters for future expansion. Why don't we do that? It's a 2-stack. Could certainly do worse than a 2-stack. So let's do that, and then let's just end our turn here. Making 20k a turn. Making almost 2,000 tortillas. As you can see, the tortilla is essentially our sole source of income. I mean, all things considered, we want to go here and we want to go here as well, but we oweth the taxman, so let's pay the taxman. And we get Rabbit Apprentice, Fuel Grapes, or Cow Deluge. None of these will benefit us at all. Really looking for veganism, looking for Arboreal Bounty, Dionysian Rites to be decent. Let's grab Fuel Grapes. It's of no value to us, because we're not going grapes in this one, folks. You already know what we're going. So I'll grab a Scarecrow. I don't think a Scarecrow is a bad structure to throw down. Does a little production bonus. And this wheat island is nice and filled out. Let's take a peek. So obviously the fuel tank siloed ones are pretty mighty. The fuel wheat itself isn't very powerful. The blue wheat and the sunflower ones are obviously very strong. And it's all feeding into the same mill. It's kind of a nice image. Watch it all go in. Mill, more wheat. More wheat, you bet. The prescription is always more wheat in this one, folks. So let's throw down some more wheat islands. Be really curious to see how impactful our boreal bounty is. I really would. So let's throw down some more wheats. More sunflowers. Do we need more sunflowers? And I suppose I could go... I mean, if we put more sunflowers right here... These are both on structures, but it will still boost our blue wheat. Why don't we go more sunflowers? It's not the best play in the world, but it's also not the worst. Let's just keep pumping in wheat. Tortilla check, we are at 2,000, folks. I wouldn't quite say we have an empire yet. We're like in the feudal age, right? Kind of out of the dark age now into the feudal age. Water tank. Yeah, we'll take the water tank for sure. Maybe we can get some in place before our wheat expands too much. Just paid the tax man. I'm actually going to hold on to this wheat for... now, unless I suppose we can get it right here too. Why not? It's just more production space. Probably throw it right here as well. Why not? We do not secure the water tank in time, but we do get a scarecrow, so we can throw that down. Give a +5 production boost. Not bad. We owe 83k in 8 days. We're getting about 30k per turn. So why don't we throw down another island here, and you guessed it, folks, more wheat. Another silo, you betcha. Except for the expansion costs are going to get a little bit expensive. We are a few days away from an essence reward, though, so you'll love to see that. Hopefully we get, like, veganism or arboreal bounty, all of which would be very useful to us right now. In fact, we kind of desperately need something. The income's decent, but it's not game breaking. Making 3,000 tortillas. So with the income we're currently making, we can afford to throw down a water tank here. More fuel wheat. That's fine. We'll take that. And we'll go olive tree and water tank, of course. I do want to get an expansion right there for some more sunflowers, but it's kind of a low priority right now. So instead, let's get down our fuel wheat. 3 days. I mean, we'll be alright. I want to get a silo right here, too. For sure. Why don't we go ahead and just play our fuel wheat here. You also want to be able to manage your hand as well. More water tanks, goodness gracious. Yeah, we'll take some more water tanks, absolutely. But you want to be able to manage your hand as well, right? Because it can balloon out of control. Especially if you're drawing, 15, 18, 22 wheat per draw. I want to try to homogenize my islands too. I don't like the idea of mixing different wheats on the same island. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but we're not going to try to do that. Here we go, folks. Veganism. Let's go. There's no animal in the farm. 4 times production to all crops. So remember how we were making 3,000 tortillas before, folks? Well, watch this. Veganism. Here we go. 25k is our, modest sum that we're getting. Let's take a peek now. In fact, the game might not like this too much. $143,000, 13,000 tortillas. Imagine the taco. I mean, you could have tacos multiple times a day, every day for the rest of your life. We are making some high quality tortillas on the farm today, folks. And you'll love to see it. Absolutely. So now we can finally expand with the cash that we have. More blue wheat. Let's see. Where's our play with more blue wheat? mean, there's no real, like, sunflower island that'll really work with it. But it's 22 blue wheat. We actually might begin to have the cash to kind of expand further. So perhaps this is what we do. We go blue wheat. Of course we go blue wheat. So I'm going to sell here. I'm going to expand here. And I'm going to add a silo here. Then I think what we can think about doing now is... It's another good silo spot right there too. I think what we can think about doing is maybe... Do we add another island this way? It'd be nice to be able to play off a silo, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll have to take a look at it. But for the time being, let's get down some more fuel wheat here and let it do its wonderful expansion thing. 159k. We just passed the 100-day mark as well, with pretty much just tortillas. Put an olive tree right there. Next one we'd be looking for here, folks. Next essence reward, that is arboreal bounty. Do I have a mill? You're probably screaming at me right now like, dude, you already drew a mill. I want to make sure I have a mill. I've got 2 melters. I've got 1 mill. So that was excellent that I grabbed that mill. So that's obviously important in expanding our production. So what do we do here? Could start one right here and go down with it. Although I do like the nice diagonal angle that we're building in here. But you want to be able to play off the silo. It would be foolish not to play off the silo. So I actually think this is a great spot. We do have a watery tree as well. This will be a great spot to expand to, right here. And then we can continue to add silos along this side of this island. So we'll go right here. We'll place some blue wheat right here, because it's right by the sunflowers, right? So we might as well get the little double whammy. It'd be nice to get a watery tree on there first, if we can secure one in our hand. We'll see. Here's a water tank. Not gonna be good next to our sunflower friend. So why don't we go ahead and do this. And this will put us in a position to, of course, expand a little bit further when we get that far. Solar panel, fuel cow. Let's try not to... Here's some more silos. Excellent. You love to see that. Another melter's going right here. Actually got both of our melters in our hands there, huh? I want to get the watery tree. Can we secure the watery tree? Game, can you be so kind? Can you be so kind? Throw down the water tank right there. Let's see, how does fuel wheat do? Look at this. 352 wheat. Goodness gracious. I'll beast it up with the water tank. The olive tree that doesn't add any production yet. Just mighty. Mighty, mighty. Alright, so another silo goes here. So we'll purchase that real estate as well. Let's go more wheat here and here. We do get our blue wheats. In fact, we have a hand that's strictly blue wheat. I'd like to get a watery tree. I mean, we don't need a watery tree, goodness. What am I thinking? We have like a billion water. So let's just play all of our blue wheat there in the most advantageous spot. And we actually do get our watery tree there. You love to see that. Want to be careful about re-rolling too much here. But the day is young. Ugh. 10k. Alright, more fuel wheat. Yep, we'll take that. We'll throw the watery tree right in place where it's strongest. And the blue wheat's going to get most value, obviously adjacent to the sunflowers. You already knew that. So let's go ahead and let's add this island here. We'll make this one blue wheat as well. Silo, you bet. So we'll get that in place. Making a decent sum of cash right now. So why don't we go ahead and get this in place too. How about water tanks? Do I have anything that can help boost production? No, still need a mill right here as well. I just want to take a peek at this. I want to end my turn here. I want to watch all of the wheat flow in to the center. Very enjoyable. Unless, of course, you get the draw phase. Then you can't see it at all. So we'll grab more sunflowers. And we're going to try that again, folks. Ah, yes. That's quite nice. 16,000 tortillas. That's 164k. Can definitely say that I've never been carried in this game by tortillas, but, you know, there is a time for everything, and that time is now. Can we expand? You bet we can. Let's add some more blue wheat. Why not? Barn black sheep centrifuge. Fuel peanuts. Just be gentle, game. Just be gentle. Alright, let's grab Bunny Dracula. With no intention of playing him. But we gotta get the People's Champ. For sure. Alright, it'd be nice to maybe secure another water tank or something of the like. So I can play it right here on the high value real estate spot. But we'll certainly see. I would also really like to get the mill in my hand. So we can start making more tortillas. But like I said, overall deck management, right? What's in your hand? It's definitely something to consider in this one too. So let's purchase the real estate here. And let's get some more blue wheat down. More fuel wheat. We'll take that just to prevent a costly reroll. Alright folks, so we have a choice here now. And perhaps this is something we can discuss in the comments after the video is posted. But we have tropical soil. So this says plus 12 value to every item a crop produces. But doubles the water cost. I'm not worried about the water cost. But plus 12 value. So tortillas currently are valued at $10. So this should increase the value of our tortillas by more than double. Which means we will more than double our income. I think that is a key to getting this thing to day 200. We also have Arboreal Bounty. Only one tree can be placed per island, but it doubles the production and adds +1 water cost to crops on the same island of the tree. More than one tree on the same island plus 5 production for all crops instead of ×2. So I mean, they both kind of do the same thing. This actually might be a little more impactful because it's doing plus 12 value versus doubling the production. So if you double the production, you're going to double your income. But if you double your production and then some, right? So I think tropical soil is the way to go, and we're going to go with it. Hopefully we see Arboreal Bounty again. It'd be nice to stack both of those on top of one another. But let's take a peek at where we're currently at. 129k, we should be up to 260k. And these tortillas should be selling for double what you're seeing there. We'll see. It is Terracards after all. And I have been known to, occasionally misunderstand things in Terracards. There you go. 327, 444. That's a lovely number, lovely sum. It looks like, so just our basic wheat is selling pretty well. 165k in tortillas, though. We definitely got to get these milled down. So we got to get our mill in place. Let me read this again. To every item a crop produced. So does a tortilla not count as an item the crop you know what I'm saying? I don't think it does. So I think I went with the wrong selection there. Because once a tortilla is created from the wheat, that's no longer technically an item that a crop produces. So I think it just means to imply that it's just your basic crop. An apple, a grape, an ear of wheat, right? If ear is even the correct term. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know. Because I don't. So interesting. But okay, it's not crippling. I think we'll be okay. Let's go with more sunflowers. Let's go with more sunflowers for sure. It doesn't look like we're really going to... holding out for a water tank is kind of silly. So we're just going to keep going here. day 124. We have almost breached the $1 million mark. In fact, we should be doing that right now. Here we go. Tortillas have made us a millionaire, folks. And you'll love to see it. Alright, more sunflowers. You betcha. We're going to keep playing those. And keep playing our fuel wheat, blue wheat combination. Still have not seen that mill, which is insane to me. Let's grab fuel wheat because we need it. You can't build a colony of tortillas without wheat. So we're going to get some wheat for sure. Alright. So let's keep building this out. I'm literally shocked that I have not seen the 1 mil that's been in my hand for a while now. I mean, yeah, I got a lot of fuel wheat. I get it. But goodness. Talk about bad luck. Although our luck has been pretty darn good. Alright, so definitely looking for another mill. Looking for more silos. Looking for the mill that's in my hand. There it is. Excellent. The screen is shaking. We have some regular wheat here. Haven't seen that in a while, but you love to see it. Okay, so now we sell all this. And I wonder, does this actually lose us money? Because we're changing all of this raw wheat production into tortillas. Doesn't matter if it loses us money. We need some tortilla action. For sure. We're not building a wheat empire. We're building a tortilla empire. And we're going to do it right. A tortilla empire, folks, requires tortillas. It's really simple, right? So we're going all in on tortillas. You already knew that. Gotta love the starting hand cows. Basically, the way I'm looking at it right now is it might not be worth expanding too much further until we get another mill. Although, it actually might be. I'm still kind of considering this in my head. So if we get another silo here, we can begin another island right here, potentially. Although the real estate expansion costs are going to be very, very high. So we want to be careful about what we do exactly, but I mean, just getting raw islands of wheat actually seems to work pretty well. We're making 23,000 tortillas. So what I mean by that is we can sit for a while with just raw islands of wheat and still make money while we await our next mill. We already have the melter. So why don't we do that? I'll play a silo right here, and then we can keep this zigzag pattern going for sure. Could also put one right here as well. So let's just keep rolling on this. That'll be our central island. That's where the melter goes. And we just spent a lot of cash there, folks. Here's our silo. You'll love to see that. And again, a lot of cash, but that's okay. Let's do this. Let's sell, let's make our cash. Want to make sure I manage the money properly here. So 300k per turn. It's a good sum, especially given we're only going tortillas, which still is kind of crazy to me. I'm not going to lie. But we don't want to expand too rapidly and break the bank, if you will. So let's let the wheat do its thing, let it reproduce. Here's our mill. Excellent. More sunflower action, you betcha. More wheat expansion action, you betcha. Here we go. And we're coming close to another essence reward. Hopefully we can secure our boreal bounty. That's what I want. Although we've kind of abandoned trees. Up until recently, of course. Our boreal bounty will still be very strong. So we're going to want to see that. We're also going to want to halt any further expansion for the time being. Transport tube. Beans. And then a $28,000 reroll. Man, we gotta like stock up some rerolls, you know? A reroll once. More olive trees, more fuel wheat, more olive trees. The wheat expansion has kind of done its thing. It's done it very well. We can get some more olive trees though. It's very much part of the overall build. And it has been rather elusive, hasn't it? So let's do that. Let's end our turn there. Let the wheat expansion take over to save our wheat cards in our hand, even though we have plenty. Let's get an olive tree right here. And then looking for our melter and our mill, wherever it may be in our hands. Alright, we get elite cows, bunny like carrot, and the miracle. I mean, we can go... I suppose we can go with the miracle. I love having a water surplus, but we're making 12,000 per turn. I don't see that changing, right? So let's go with the miracle. It'll basically give us a nice big payout on the front end, which is good. Let's go sunflower here. Let's see what kind of payout we got. Okay, so 680. That'll be a nice little boost to us for sure. We still need to be carried by the tortillas. We're gonna owe, you know, at the end of it all, it's $4 million, right? I think that's the final payout. And that little sum from our water reserves turning into wine will actually help us expand a little more comfortably here. So let's go ahead and get the mill down. Be great to get a few more silos, but of course you have to be careful with the expansion costs. Tortillas can only take you so far, or can they, folks? That's what we're here to find out. More watery trees, you bet. We'll take that. And here's our mill. We'll get that down. And we're pretty much... So we'll be alright to expand like so. Gotta really watch the finances. 375k. Let's see, what does that morph into now? Let's get a watery tree right here. Let's get an olive tree right here. So what does that morph into now? 350k. Alright, so it's actually more lucrative to use tropical soil and just basic wheat instead of turning it into a tortilla. It's a small amount, but I think that was kind of the critical moment. I went with the wrong one. I definitely did. I should have chose Arboreal Bounty. But, I mean, can you blame me? Did you all read Tropical Soil like I did? I even took a moment to just stop and think about it, right? Something I don't often do in this game. Usually operating very, very, very fast. Goodness gracious, this game is having trouble with the tortillas. But, folks, we have a nice looking islands here. Mostly all wheat. This was kind of our water tank era, if you will. Got a bunch of nice water tanks. Got them in good spots here right on the silos. Still looking good. Still making some cash. However, we're going to have to make a lot more cash, which means we have to make a lot more tortillas. That's right. 19,000 tortillas. Let's get that up to 20. 25. 30,000. Alright, so we can re-roll just a little bit here. More silos, you betcha. You love to see that, folks. Gotta love some good silo action here. Alright, so let's go right here. And right here with our silos. It's diverged the path right here. Of course, we have to get them in our hand yet. And then basically we can keep building, of course, but we need a mill and a melter as well. Getting close to another essence reward, and I think if we can get our boreal bounty, it just might take us over the top. We'll certainly find out. So where would we expand again? I think I'm going to hold off on that until I get my silos in place. Got to be careful with the cash flow here. And that means not re-rolling it all away either. So I guess I will grab this shiny titanium medium fence. I think it's yeah, it's got to be titanium, right? Probably not. Let's see. Okay, so we're on about 3 mil. Apple trees. Giant sunflower. Let's go giant sunflower. Still seeking that silo. How are we doing? 20,000 tortillas now. We've crossed the 20,000 tortilla mark. Insanity. Absolute insanity to create this many tortillas. But folks, we're solving world hunger here. And everybody gets the blessing of the tortilla. Oh, reroll once here. Yikes. I don't like any of this. I guess Fisherman's Hut. Whatever. This is where the funding is going to start to get very, very tight on us. So what do we get? A whole bunch of nothing. A whole bunch of nothing. I'll take Home Sweet Home just to pay homage to one of my favorites. It's an excellent essence reward. If you're doing anything animal related, it's a must-have. Throw a giant sunflower right there. Gets a modest 1,000 production. Definitely not going to move the needle in one way or the other. In fact, you could probably argue that you're better off not expanding there because it's probably not even going to make that much money through the rest of its time. I guess we'll grab a fuel infuser. I'm just being careful with the income here, folks. I'd like to really get this to day 200. I really would. So we have to be careful. So I'm going to take more of a reserved approach here. We're going to try to get all of this stuff filled up. I have another silo in my hand somewhere that I have to grab. Giant carrot fermenter transport tube. Just nothing. It does me no good. I'll grab a fermenter. But that does me no good at all. It really doesn't. So why don't we start... I'm just trying to think about this. Is it even worth expanding anymore? Or is that what gets us in trouble? You know what I mean? 400k a turn. So it's basically like a turn, right? 2 turns we have. Let's just skip through here. Skip around a little bit. I want to see if I can get my silo. $568,000 now. What changed? We're making $500,000 in tortillas now. Excellent. You love to see that. But what changed? This game makes me scratch my head sometimes, folks. But I sure do hope you're enjoying the dawn of a new tortilla empire. I know I am. Here's a melter. We'll take that. Absolutely. If we can secure that in our hand, we might be able to look at expanding again. I mean, there does come a time when you just have to kind of play your cards as well, which we can certainly do. So why don't we start that? Let's start it. I think our income's pretty strong. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was Dionysian rites, right? Every 10 turns, get +4 production to crops. So that's what we got. We got +4 production to all crops. We must have had a little span there where we got some beastly production. And it really did make a pretty obvious difference, didn't it? Here's another mill. You betcha. We'll take that. 474k. This is getting troubling to spend that much money. But we need to expand because we need to create, you already know it, more tortillas. I'm going to hold off for a little bit though. We are 7 days from an essence reward. If we can get arboreal bounty, if we can secure that, I'm going to be feeling really good about our chances to take this to day 200. Something I didn't even conceive as possible with essentially just tortillas. I mean, it's by far the staple of our income. 300k a turn in tortillas. That's absolutely insane. So let's expand again. We are starting to make tortillas on this island here. Scarecrow. Yeah, we could use a scarecrow. Sure thing. Let's throw an olive tree right here. Let's throw another olive tree right here. And let's go with some regular wheat down there. Let's let wheat expansion do its thing. Make the heart of the game murmur a little bit as it processes everything. We're getting like variable income every turn. It's kind of strange. I'm not going to lie. But look at this madness, man. Look at all of that wheat. How we doing? We're making 20,326 tortillas now. And here comes a pretty big payout here at the 2.14 mil mark. But of course, we do secure another essence reward here, folks. And this could make or break the run. It really could. More olive trees, you bet. All right. Let's pay that. And what do we get? Elite cows. We get energy spring. And we get bunny light carrot. Yikes. So none of these are really useful. Energy spring, we lose. If we select energy spring, we lose. All of our water comes from watery trees. If we select this, our watery trees will begin to produce energy. We don't need energy, so we lose if we select this. It kind of seems good, right? Like 6 times production and all that awesome stuff, but no. This actually loses us the game, so we're not going to go with that. Let's go with elite cows, because, you know, cows eat wheat, I guess. Well, I mean, they do eat wheat, but I mean, I think you can somehow kind of relate it to what we're doing here. This, you know, madness that you're witnessing. All right, let's take a peek. 400k, 31,000 tortillas per turn. Tremendous. We must be on a stretch of the Dionysian rites. There's corn. I don't think I've seen corn at all. Water tanks, you bet. In fact, we can do something nice with that water tank if we can get them both in our hands. So there's one. So why don't we throw it right here? We're not going to get arboreal bounty, unfortunately. So we can just play our olive trees wantonly. No big deal. We're at day 186 here, folks. We have 2 tax cycles left. It'll be about $7.5 million or so. So I'd really love to win this. And don't worry, I'm not going to play the Easter Bunny. I might have just end my turn twice. Sure hope we don't lose out on the production. Because in 2 days here, that nice, rich 6 million we're sitting on. 500k, 41,000 tortillas. Excellent. So I suppose let's play our fuel wheat here then. since waiting for a water tank in a very populated and crowded hand is like pulling teeth. Bunny Dracula, gotta go with the people's champ. You bet. 3.218 million gold here, folks. So there's our target. 4,827. We are currently 1.4 million off, and we're making a little over a quarter per turn. There's a bit of variability in there, but I think we're gonna do it. Feels like we're gonna do it. Here's another 424. We actually might be quite all right. I mean, we won't be very all right past turn 200, but that's okay. The goal here today was to take this to turn 200, to go orbital with tortillas, right? Eat some tortillas on the moon, have some moon tacos, right? Well, we're eating moon tacos tonight here, folks. And you'll love to see it. Let's just keep stacking our friend, the Dracula version of Bunny. Unbelievable. Really did not think this was possible, folks. Be honest with yourself. When you clicked on this video, did you even think that this was possible? Did you think I was just like trolling you? No, honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you, I had no clue how this was going to go. It didn't really seem feasible to me when I was taking a quick look at it. I was like, but tortillas only sell for 10, right? The only thing that kept sticking in my mind was the radius of both the melter and the mill. And also the relative frequency that you get wheat. Especially if you go with wheat, the game seems to just hook you up with wheat, right? So my thought was, if we can get the right essence rewards, which I made a blunder there with tropical soil, but that's okay. I think and hope everybody has learned more about tropical soil now. I know I have. Dealer's hand. We didn't get Arboreal Bounty. I would have liked to have seen what the production was like with Arboreal Bounty, for sure. Given all of the Lone Tree Islands that we have here. Would have done some crazy stuff to our build. If you want to try this for yourself, I encourage it. It's actually a pretty fun build. Get lots of nice wheat production. But go Arboreal Bounty for sure. I was really set up for Arboreal Bounty to take us over the top. That and, of course, veganism, which we got relatively early. Really, really helpful to us. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Like, the only thing I had in my mind is I didn't even know that this was possible. I didn't think it was. I was like, it probably isn't. But the mill and the melter range stuck in my mind as an opportunity to just build a bunch of diamonds and make a bunch of tortillas, right? And then another thing is, of course, the relative frequency of the wheat, like I said. So my thought was, if we can get enough wheat down, maybe we can do it. And sure enough, folks, we can. So that is our glorious Sky Cloud Castle Tortilla Empire of Tortillas, Moon Tacos, and the Empire tonight, folks, will rest. So I'm going to end the video right there, folks. But I do really appreciate you stopping by the channel. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your support. Appreciate your comments. I see it all, and I really appreciate it. This community has truly been awesome. And I thank you so much for stopping by the channel and checking out the content. As you know, I'm new here, and it's just awesome to see, you know, the community of people that are interested in, especially Terracards, right? Just so cool. So, again, thank you very, very much. Go get yourself a moon taco, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.